And about, I don't know, it was maybe a week later, 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from him. And he's like, hey, man, he's like, I need you in Virginia as soon as possible to take a polygraph. And I'm like, when do you need me, sir? He's like, when can you come? And I tell him, he's like, all right. And it was like a couple days later. And he's like, all right, look, the 24 hours prior, don't drink soda, don't drink coffee, don't drink any stimulants, don't take pre-workout, nothing. I'm like, roger that.
I never knew that. So they don't want you having anything that could possibly affect your bloodstream.
Yes, sir. Yeah, nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
quick question.
Yeah.
What about when they have to do like pop-up polygraphs then? Like when they surprise you and they didn't tell you 24 hours or something?
Good question. Don't know, to
That's
be honest.
weird.
Yeah. But he was very specific. No coffee, no soda, no pre-workout, nothing had caffeine in it. I said, okay. So I ended up, he tells me this is the address you need to go to. And so I decided to drive to Virginia instead of fly. I don't know why. It was a long-ass drive from where I live. It was like 8 hours. But I just wanted...
From North Carolina?
Yeah, from where I lived. Where actually I was at that time. It was... No, maybe not 8 hours. Maybe 7-ish hours. But I just wanted to have some time to myself. You know what I mean? And just like think about what was about to happen, which was a stupid thing to do because you start mind screwing yourself, right? You're driving going, oh my God.
Well, you know what you're driving to because he told you.
Oh yeah,
you know what
dude.
This
This is
is
major
the high league.
Oh yeah, dude. This is the tip of the spear for sure. So I drive to this address and it was just a very nondescript 6-story building in the middle of like this commercial center. And he told me, hey, when you go in, there'll be a security guard downstairs at a desk. Just tell him you're here to take a polygraph and they'll tell you where to go. I'm like, okay. So I walk through the front door and there's like a security guard sitting here behind a desk. And I'm like, hey, sir, I'm here to take a polygraph. And he says your name. And I told him my name. He's like, okay, yeah, go to the 3rd floor. I'm like, okay. So I get in the elevator and I go to the 3rd floor and I get off the elevator and I look around and it literally looked like some company left in the middle of the night. Like all the shit was hanging from the ceiling and like there was nothing there. Like the false ceiling was like missing shit and just wires hanging down and just, I'm like, what the fuck? So I get back in the elevator. I'm like, I'm on the wrong floor, right?
No, you're at the right place.
I'm on the right. And just as I turn around, here's this dude standing right in front of me. And he says, Joseph. And I said, yeah. He says, follow me.
He's got 2 electric wires going like this, testing for the current.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. So this was crazy, man. It was like, this is what I like expected. It was really bizarre. So there was an office and there was a desk, the machine, a guy sitting behind the desk and a chair in front of the desk. That was it. There was nothing else in it. And so I sit down.
Just you and him.
There was a guy behind me running the polygraph machine
right.
and then another dude that walked me in.
Yeah.
And so I sit down in the chair and they start hooking me up in the machine. They put like this tube across my chest, a thing on my finger, heart monitor. And he's like, look, put your hands on your knees. Don't tap your feet. Don't tap your hands. Don't hold your breath. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. Answer yes or no. Any questions? I'm like, nope. And so it starts. So you can hear the freaking machine. You can hear it behind you, like making this noise. And of course, you got sweat dripping down your back because this is for real. Like this. Oh, let me back up. When I did the interview with Ron, he said, look, man, don't get excited because we called you. 70% of the people don't even pass the polygraph. 70.
Now, how long was this polygraph? Do you remember?
Yeah, an hour, maybe. And 15 minutes. It wasn't long.
Now, if you can't get into specifics about necessarily some of the exact questions, you and I did talk about this in the car earlier, but on a broad level, because you explained that, what types of things are they asking you?
Sure. So the first set of questions were very benign. Is your name Joe Teti?
Right.
Are you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Blah, blah, blah.
There's like a term for that, like test or something.
Yeah, exactly. They're probably just trying to get a baseline of...
I think that's it.
Yeah, of what your answers are. Then you took a little, 2-minute break, sat there, and then you asked another set of questions. They were quantifiable type questions. So for example, have you ever done drugs? Yes. Right? Whatever. They're going to quantify that to a point where, like, if you've done drugs in the last 10 years, 5 years, like they dummy it down. But as the questions progressed, each set of questions became more and more intrusive. So all I can tell you is imagine the most personal, obtrusive questions that would make you squirm as a man. That's what they're asking you.
I'm curious though, are you serious question, because I've never experienced anything like this. Seeing as this is like the highest level of secrecy that the government even has to offer, and you're in a room with 3 guys who are, they're shadows basically.
Yep.
Do you even care as much versus like if you were sitting on forget a podcast, if you're just sitting with your friends and answering these questions? Is there like a wall, like, I don't give a fuck what these guys think?
Well, I'm just answering it from it was stressful. Because this was the 70% don't pass. Like, the chances of you passing us aren't good. But, dude, you can't lie. They probably invented the freaking thing.
And you don't know what's a right and wrong answer in a sense.
Right? You really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're not looking for choir boys, okay? But I'm sure there are questions, I'm 100% sure, that are 100% disqualifiers. If you answer yes to that question, you're failing. Yeah. You're failing, for sure. And there's a reason for that. That unit really deep dives more so than any other special operations unit. Like guys from Delta and SEAL Team 6, they don't have to take polygraphs. They have a TSSCI, a top secret SCI, which is sensitive compartmentalized information. It's like a caveat on a TS clearance. I don't want to say it's higher than a TS, but in reality it is, because you're exposed to very compartmentalized information.
But you're saying it's not CIA top secret level.
Yeah, though that's why that agency goes to that next step with the polygraph and even guys that come over from the tier 1 units, even though they may have a TSSCI, they still go through some type of background that they kind of like police it up a little bit. Like, okay, let's just double check some things, because that's what I was told. I'm just telling you what people have told me there. So anyway, but yeah, there's questions that are 100% disqualifiers, and rightly so, because the way it was explained to me is, we have to be able to trust you 100%. Matter of fact, Ron said, Joe, we would rather have 10 guys that we have 100% faith in than 100 guys that were like 95, like not there.
Did the fact, though, because at this point, like you said, you hadn't seen combat,
no,
right? You've been in for a long time. You handled a lot of different training. Like, obviously, you're a qualified guy for a lot of things. Right. But this is essentially, to me, in my head, from outside the military, this feels like the kind of jump like you're going from the 8th grade AAU star to the fucking NBA.
Yeah, that's about it, bro. Yeah.
So were you wondering why they were asking you? Did you ask a question like, guys, I haven't seen combat. Why am I being considered for this?
So during an interview process down the road after you pass the polygraph, and it was during my time getting my top secret clearance, which took about 5 months for them to do all the background investigations. And bro, I'll tell you something really funny here in a minute, but you do an interview, like a board interview, had 4 guys that were like all the top dudes in SAD, and they're all just sitting there at a table just asking you a bunch of questions. And this is how deep dive they do you. So the one dude asked me, so Joseph, tell us something that happened to you in high school that might reflect on your character.
It's like an interview question.
Yeah, right.
Like a regular interview.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, high school. I said, sir, can you be a little more, like, give me a hint? He's like, no. He's like, he goes, what happened to you in high school that would reflect on your character that we would want to know about? And I was like, what the I really didn't know what he was talking about.
I hate those questions.
Oh, bro. And of course,
I can't think of it.
Dude, I got sweat dripping down my back, and I'm like, deer in a headlight. And I basically said, I don't know what you're looking for. And they each had like this dossier in front of them. And he's looking, he's like, correct me if I'm wrong. Were you not suspended in 11th grade? Dude, I totally forgot about it. And I was. He goes, I said, yes, sir, I was. He says, you want to tell us why? And I said, yeah. The seniors had what's called like a senior skip day where all the seniors, right? Well, I was in 11th grade. And a bunch of my buddies and I got caught and got fucking suspended for a day. And so I told him that. And he's like, okay. But dude, they pulled my microfiche from my high school.
Yeah.
Right? So like,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And that's the only way they could have known about it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching the video, guys. Please hit that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.